Good evening, race fans. This is Thursday night NAGP. I'm Jack Ivey, and I'm along with the famous.
It's Curtis Chandler. How you doing tonight, guys? How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing great, Curtis. Thanks for bailing out the show the last couple of weeks. I've been off and busy working in real life. We're going into Superpole qualifying. What can you tell us about this?
Superpole qualifying. One of the neatest things that we do out here at North American GP. I think it's fun. You know, you get one try at it. You know, you get a warm-up lap and one flying lap to put in your best time. And we start at the bottom of the list and work our way up. Fastest man wins. And then we go into a 30-minute race. And that 30-minute race will dictate the first two. Well, if you get pole and Superpole, those two spots are secure. You're in. 1-2. The rest, if you win the race tonight, and you didn't get first or second in qualifying, in the Superpole qualifying, you'll start third, and so on down the road. So it's an interesting format, and it's fun to watch, actually.
Yeah, I did notice from the website there, anybody following along, last week at Mid-Ohio, looks like it was another barn burner like we've had all year. The penalties were dished out by the bucket load.
Yeah, there were some bumps and such at the beginning of the race, and then but it was a pretty good race. You know, the fighting happened in the middle of the pack, but yeah, there were some people that got in trouble. Yes.
Yeah, it looks like we got a couple of no-quals going on tonight. Andre Cole has got a no-qual. David Poole has got a no-qual. Rich Roman has got a no-qual. Who else we got going in here? I think that might be it for the no-quals.
Yeah, so those guys will more than likely just sit out tonight. Well, sit out the Superpole side of it and come in qualifying too, and go for the race.
Yeah, that's not going to be very good for David Poole. He's sitting in the second position for the Drivers' Championship right behind Aaron Parsons by 2 points. So he's got his work cut out for him during the race, but he's got quite the warning slapped on him. So he's going to have to be under his best behavior this time around.
Yeah, he's got to play it safe tonight, but you know, it's not going to be a huge field tonight. I think they're probably 2021 starters. It looks like we had a problem, so we're going to restart here real quick. But he will start from the back of the pack during the 30-minute race. That will probably put him out of any chance of winning the race and getting that extra point, which, you know, could help him in the championship. But he's not going to be, you know, he won't be out of it as far as the the main race, a 3-hour race next week. So there's a lot that can happen in those 3 hours.
Absolutely, that's going to be a real endurance battle for both the broadcasters and the drivers next week. Where are we racing tonight, Curtis?
Oh yeah, but I guess we need to talk about that, don't we? We're down in South America, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache down in Interlagos. It's down by near Sao Paulo, Brazil. So, you know what? Quite honestly, I've never done well at this track for some reason, but it's a fun track nonetheless.
Well, one of our top drivers in the NAGP should do quite well here tonight. I would call this his home track. And who do you think I'm talking about?
Could be Andres, could it?
Thiago Canola.
Oh, Thiago, that's right.
Slippery Canola. I'm looking for him to do real well. He was pretty hot up in practice.
Seems like he has actually done laps on this track, hasn't he?
I think he has in real life, yes.
So it looks like there has been a little bit of some technical issues. We've dropped a few people here, dropped a few people there, and they're trying to reload but keep losing people. So looks like they're just trying to work through those right now.
Well, it looks like they're dropping in and dropping out and pulling back in again. Looks like we're up to 22 drivers now.
Just race control of the broadcast booth. You copy over.
This is NAGP broadcast. You're live. Go ahead.
We had a technical timing and scoring issue, and we're starting the session, so stand by.
And who's going to be leading us off there, Chris Moses?
Lead will be McIntyre now.
We'll be watching for him to hit the track.
There it is, officially from timing and scoring.
And, well, we got a little break here in the action, waiting for him to get out on the track. Just want to bring it to your attention, NAGP races Monday, Thursday, and Saturdays. The Champ Car Series is starting up. This Saturday is the inaugural race for Champ Cars. I was talking to some of the drivers earlier. They say it's fast and furious. They're having a great time out there. They're more than willing to help anybody who wants to join up. So if you think you've got the guts to get in one of these Champ Cars, contact the admins, grab yourself a car, get in, and get racing. Saturday afternoons, 5 p.m.
So it looks like we just got over to qualifying one. Probably going to have a little chat over there, a little quickie drivers meeting. But the first thing I notice is that temperature. 36 degrees, no, excuse me, 120 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wowzer.
On the track right now. So what is that, 50, 48, 49 degrees Celsius or something along those lines?
Ridiculously hot is what it is. Thank God they're only going.
That's it, ridiculously hot.
Thank God they're only going out for 2 laps.
I don't know. What would you rather have? A lot of rain or super hot?
I think I'd take the super hot dry track and watch those cherry. Turn off the XD so you don't have to watch those cherry reds on your monitor.
Right, just ignore that, right?
I usually do.
Yeah, so if you're unfamiliar with how this works, we start at the bottom of the list. You work your way towards the top. These are based on qualifying order. Our Superpole order is based on your practice times, which I think probably went out the window since they had to restart the session, but so be it. So I guess tonight we'll be starting with Mr. Johnny McIntyre, and then when he starts his hop lap, the next person in line will go out and do the warm-up and so on and so on. So second up tonight will be championship possibility contender. He's going to have to have a little luck on his next few races. Chris Moses will start second.
And it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, we got Johnny Mac out on the track now.
Yeah, he'll get out there. He'll be the first one to test the track out, put a little rubber down. That's one thing about the Superpole, you know, you can either start early, kind of on a green track, or you can wait around try to be one of the last guys, you know, lay down a qualifying lap, and have a little bit of track rubber on the track, but by the time you get up there, you're all cold, and you gotta really try to warm up fast. But so here comes Johnny Mac on the main straight, getting ready to start his time lap.
Hey, Curtis, do you want to ride along with him and describe the track?
Oh, I guess I could try that. Well, here, start-finish line just after this little downhill bump. Pass the pagoda there, and off we go. Going down one turn, so it drops off to a left-right at they call them the Senna S's. You find some action down there in the race. There's always somebody trying to dive in there and make that pass. Got a long turn left there, turn 3, the Curva del Sol to the Radio Posta. It's a long straight downhill. And then you turn 4. And when you hit these apexes, they're still going down. It's a pretty fast complex here, 4 and 5. Car will drift wide to the right there, and then you got to set up the slower part, 6 and 7. Now you're starting to climb back up a hill. Keep it tight. Slow down. Depending on your gear, you might hit second or first. You can see there you got a little bit of understeer. Work your way around turn 9, then you're starting to go back up a little bit more. You'll see some people trying to dive in this corner here, but you don't really want to. You'll end up just putting people off. Round 10 is a sharp right-hander, then you go downhill a little bit towards the power lines. Set up wide, downshift, quick, back on and start finish kind of straight. Pretty quick laps around here, should be around a minute 25, minute 26 for qualifying laps. You gotta have that power to climb up that hill, and just like that, there's a lap of Interlagos.
Well done, Curtis. Johnny McIntyre in with a 128.
So his qualifying should go pretty fast. You'll see Chris Moses is already out there on his time lap.
I think Chris is running a little hot. He might not even have the steam to get around. Yeah, but he is ahead on that sector. Hope he's got enough motor left to get around here.
Yes, temperature's up to 122 degrees.
And he is smoking bad, folks.
Up on the second sector time. Expecting to be second, I guess.
Good lap so far for Chris. And a 127.
Not quite as fast as I expected him to be. I was expecting him to probably be down in the 26s, but we'll see how that goes for him.
I think he might have been running that car a little hot. Marco Conti out next.
Looks like he was a little late getting out of the pits.
Yep, Marco driving the Maserati.
This car's done well here in the past. Let's see if I can come up with a some past results here. Start and finish straight here.
And Marco starts his hot lap. One of those drivers who's really improved over the last couple seasons in both the Monday night and the Thursday night NAGP leagues. A little bit of a wide slide there.
Definitely has. He's struggled just a little bit the last few races. I don't know, maybe just trying a little harder than he normally would, but like I said, a little wide there, struggling with the car. Maybe these high temps are working. You know, you figure with just these short laps at the tires wouldn't be getting too hot, so probably just trying.
Looks like he's smoking that car too.
It doesn't look like we're going to be breaking any records tonight, that's for sure, with these temps.
Sam Rolfe out, starting his hot lap now. Sam Rolfe driving a Lambo.
I think that Lambo should be pretty good around this track, actually.
I would think it should do fairly well. At least he's not smoking like the other drivers. Got his rad opened up a little more than the other guys.
It's not yet, at least.
A little bit of a slide going through that last combination of corners. Well, I take that back, Curtis. It looks like everybody is smoking their motors. And Greg Myers coming out now.
Be right back, Jack. I've got a little technical issue on my end of the world. I'll be right back.
We'll be here waiting for you, Curtis. Gregory Myers, one of our driving instructors at NAGP. One of the smoothest drivers in the whole field out here. His motto is drive the line, and we can Greg drive the line. Coming up on the first sector split. Greg is just 0.2 of a second off. Slide there, well under control with Greg at the wheel though. Greg's about a half a second off the pole pace right now. And again, just about every driver here is running these cars super hot and pulling smoke after their first hot lap. Coming up to the finish now, let's see how he does. Takes him into P2. John Solberger in the big Aston Martin. Let's see how John does in Sector 1. John right on pace there as well.
Hey Jack, got a question for you.
Yo!
Asked this over over live NAGP, but are you on live stream also as well?
I'm showing I'm running.
I mean, do you have it up on another computer watching?
No, I don't. I hope Curtis.
I hope it's working.
I hope we're up live. I don't see any chat messages coming through, so I have no idea, no way to tell. Solberger coming up for his time. Put Solberger into third.
Kind of surprised by these times. You know, I saw 126s and 127s during the practice session. Of course.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a little bit. Maybe the tires just aren't holding up here. It looks like Mr. Wathen there is coming up to his sector time, and he is just 8/100ths of second going into sector 1 time split, but he is smoking severely. If we got any NAGP broadcast watchers out there, send us a chat message. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know how you're doing tonight.
Yeah, let us know who you're rooting for, too.
How'd you do in your picks last week, Curtis? Did you make a pick?
Well, I didn't have anybody to, you know, to pick it against, so I kept it to myself.
Wathen looks like he's having a half-decent lap as well, about a quarter of a second off the old pace as we sit right now.
Should put him right at the top.
And it puts him into second. Kevin Savoy out on track now.
That quick Celine he's got.
That's a great looking and sounding car.
Oh, but you can see what happens. You get sucked into that first corner there, and you go real wide, real easy, just like that. And that's going to cost him quite a bit of time.
That'll be evident at this first sector split. About 0.6 of a second, that.
It's going to be hard to make up half a second on this short track. So what you do now is do the best you can and hope to make up a couple tenths.
And folks, as you can see out there on the broadcast, these guys are running these cars a little hot. Kevin looks like he's got his hands full out there.
Tight lines. You've really got to keep it tight and tidy on this course. It's easy to just get off a little bit, and every little bit you get off, you got to lift. Next thing you know, you're out in the curves, you're going wide, and it just see what happens. You know, you just get out like that. And
it's hard to settle back down once you get out of your rhythm.
yeah, you can see it happen right there. You just try to go in a little too deep, to carry too much speed, and you end up over those curves, and it'll bite you.
And it sure did. Puts him in 8th position. And here's one of our top drivers. In fact, he is leading in the Drivers' Championship this season in GT1. Here's tonight, Aaron Parsons, racing out of Australia. Got a little hot on that corner. Big welcome out there to Rabbit Racer.
Catches. Hey, Rabbit. I can't spell tonight. Ignore that.
We can all understand what you're saying there, Kurt. Don't worry about the spelling. It's all about racing, not spelling. And Aaron is half a second down. Right. Coming up to this split, I think he'll take the pole.
think. Close.
Yes,
He
and
did get in the 26s. There we are. So that's what we're expecting. Some of these times, but if you look at the temperatures, are still way high up in the 120. So I don't know if we see any pop motors tonight. You know, it's just one lap basically at those high temps. I don't think anybody will pop it in qualifying.
No, and they'll open up the rads for the race. Maybe not. Some of these guys might gamble on it a bit, Curtis. It's only a half-hour blast to the finish line.
That's true. We had some people gamble on Monday night, running softs at Spa during a short 30-minute race we had there, but so you never really know what people have in mind when it comes to these qualifying races and these Superpoles.
Well, here comes our senior statesman, Marty Uren, going to start his hot lap. Marty racing out of California.
What was it? His teammate was John. Is John also in the John is in the what's his teammate in the Koenigsegg? That would be John Wathen, right?
I believe you are correct.
Yeah, it is John Wathen. So we know the car's good at least for third. 27.8, so let's see if Marty can chop a little time off that.
I'm sure Marty will.
And what is that, broadcaster's bias?
Yeah, it's also the broadcaster's curse, too, so maybe we shouldn't
shouldn't
play with it.
Yeah, so there you go. He's just gonna chop him down before he gets out there, huh?
Marty's a wily veteran in real-life racing and in virtual racing.
See what you've done to him. 0.8 down at that first split. I think he's going to be real close to his teammate.
And ends up in P6.
And here we go. Seems to be the man with the biggest fan club, Mr. Paul Hall.
Paul Hall in the Mad Croc Corvette.
Menacing V8 power there.
Another great looking and sounding car. Yeah, Paul's a little off the pace there, but not too bad.
Just keep plugging away. That's all you can do.
Yeah, it sure sounds like he is breathing that throttle pretty heavily. Couple of seconds off the pace there, Paul.
You know, maybe Paul has a different strategy for next week's 3-hour enduro. You know, just make it out there, make it to the finish, collect those 3 points.
Yeah, that puts Paul into 10th so far. And on board now, Andrew Werner coming to the start-finish.
Andrew Werner's been fast. I think he's had a little bit of problems. He wasn't able to win, but I think what was it? I forgot. Was it already? I think last week, wasn't it, Andrew, that pretty much checked out at Yeah, he checked out last week in that McLaren.
Werner took the race last week, and he'd be carrying 40 Ks of success ballast with him.
Yeah, there was at one point he was up by, I want to say 20 seconds, but last week's race it pretty much stabilized around a 9-second lead, and that was his first GT1. I didn't notice that last week. I wanted to say congratulations on his first GT1 win. So good job, Andrew, on that first win last week. I'm sure he's going to want to keep going on that success.
Absolutely. It must be very gratifying to put yourself in the top of the podium. And Werner not too far off.
Once they get that first one, you can't stop them.
Not too far off the leader's time.
Give a second.
If you can carry that speed up the hill, you might be in decent shape here. Puts him into P3.
Looking at the times, it's probably not going to be too bad. It's going to be close. I probably should keep him in the top 10. Here's a hometown guy.
Slippery Thiago Canola. Let's see his sector 1 time. I'm looking for a real hot lap here. Well, he started out fairly hot.
See if we can keep that momentum going. We know the Ford GT1s have been fast all season.
They sure have. Both teams have been very competitive.
You see? Keeping it fairly tidy, nice and tight around those corners. That's what you got to do around here. Like Thiago going for the provisional pole.
I think so too.
By how much now?
It's going to be a fairly good, decent time. .126, just about flat. Thiago takes it.
Almost the first one. Almost the first one into the 25s.
And the Gupper Douglas out for his hot lap now. Now, geez,
Gupster still substituting for Al, right?
Well, he's got me really confused. I've got him. He has driven what? I've got him down driving 3 different cars so far this season.
Wait a second, that's not a Ferrari, so he's not subbing for Al tonight.
No, I think he's riding an independent. This looks like a Viper to me. I might be wrong.
He's definitely in the Viper. Lots of torque. Not so sure how well it's going to get around this twisty circuit though. Like he's struggling just a little bit. 3 seconds off the pole pace at the moment. Gonna put him in the 29s, more than likely.
You're right, about 3 seconds off. That's going to put him a little farther back in the pack. Juan Monroy now in the Aston Martin. so far for one.
This car's got a lot of power, but seems to have a little bit of an understeer issue. You can see right there, he's a little wide going in and out of that corner, so. A little off the pace. It just comes down to this twisty circuit.
Yeah, he's going to be a little off the pace. Up into P5.
P5 at 27.8.
And Christian Hamilton coming up to start his hot lap.
7 people yet to run. So yeah, with 7 people yet to run, it's going to be close for Juan there to maintain that top 10 starting spot.
Christian Hamilton driving the Lister. About a half second off the pace so far. This should be a good car for this track.
Yeah, you're probably right there. I would think this would be a pretty good car for this track. Don't see anybody trying their luck out in the Ferrari F40s tonight. May have been a good car for around here. A little short coupled. Get around these corners quick.
Well, Christian's a couple of seconds off the pace.
Let's see, the last time we were here, there was a McLaren on pole, and Andrew Werner.
And Christian ends up in P7. Another 4G coming up to start his hot lap. Andre Prado, teammate to Brad Maris, Anger Racing.
And these two have been running neck and neck with each other all season, Andres and Brad, so.
Yeah, this has been a great team. They've made a great team this year.
They've actually worked well together. Yeah.
They're in second place in the team championships by 2 points behind 05 Motorsport.
Yeah, all the championships are real close this season in GT1. What a mathematical chance for top 4 drivers right now to take it.
It sure looks that way from the drivers' leaderboard. Parsons, Pole, Prado, and Moses. Andre having his trouble out there, though.
Yeah, he got a little bit wide and hit those gators, and it's going to probably suck about 3/4 of a second off his time. Wide there again, too.
Well, that seems to happen. You get out of your rhythm, and it's real hard to settle back down quickly to get back into that rhythm.
Start to get into panic mode and pile on the mistakes. So he's going to be down in the 29s. Yeah, down there with 4, 5. Yeah, not where he wants to be at the start of this race.
Absolutely not. He will not be happy with that. And Christian Hamilton's teammate, David Canavan, in the Lister.
Past GT2 champion.
Racing out of Ireland.
Always quick, always one to watch out for, huh? Yeah.
About 0.3 of a second off the pole in the first sector there.
Might be able to make that up, but it's looking pretty good up there in that middle section. Keeps it tidy here and on the power early. Go, go, go! Lost a bunch of time, actually.
Yeah, he lost a lot there in that middle sector, didn't he?
Kind of surprising.
Puts him up in the P5. And starting his hot lap, Brad Maris, Monday Night Broadcast sensation.
Driving instructor extraordinaire. Ultimate car setup guy.
And he's showing why he is all of those things. He's just 8.08 seconds off of the pole position in the first sector. Boy, that middle sector seems to be a lot of trouble for these guys tonight.
Just catching a few people out, something in there. Lost a full second on that. See if this setup reveals anything on this straight. See if he's running a little less wing. He's able to make up any time there. He was 1.0 something off. Let's see. No, lost more time.
Yep, P5. He was smoking pretty bad at the end there. Here's our mystery man, Alex White.
Right around that Lamborghini. I think Alex, you know, I thought he had raced here before in seasons past. The name sounds familiar, but he's coming here the last few races here in GT1 and GT2. Been quick, but been caught up in some issues.
Well, he was really smoking it this track big time during the practice. 3/100ths of a second off pole in the first sector right now. This is a little different of a format, folks going out there. You've got one out lap to go around and then one hot lap to put it down for your position. You gotta make it pay in one lap.
One thing we're not showing you right now, but the drivers have this one channel where you can go into and give each other grief after the one lap. It's kind of a fun thing they do, where all the drivers get together and watch the other people go out and do their qualifying lap. They don't let them hear it, but
yeah, thanks, Dirt Guy. Dirt Guy just posted up and said Alex raced here for a while about 2 years ago, and he won a race too.
He sounded familiar. Apparently he didn't lose any of the pace because he's been quick.
Not at all. He put himself into P2 right now.
Right up there with 26.7. Mr. Sportelli out there, and another GT1.
it here at Thursday Night Racing.
The GT1 struggle in that middle section. Let's see if John has the same problems here. Both Andres and Brad lost about a second in the middle section of the track.
Yeah, and the other team in the Fords, actually Thiago, he lost his time in the middle section as well. But a half a second off, but probably one of the better showings by the Ford GTs at this moment.
So far, might get him up to the second if he can carry some speed.
Good for fourth.
Good for fourth. Did lose something out of that last corner.
Here we go with David Poole.
Well, this is the last chance for taking that pole position. I thought David Poole had a no qual tonight, didn't he?
David Pole's got a no qual if there's more than 32 in the server.
Okay, that's it. He gets to play.
Not only that, David, you've earned yourself a probational ride. You better be on your best behavior tonight, or else the CC's gonna come down like a ton of bricks on you.
Bernie is watching.
Well, he is off the pace by more than a second. This hot track has got to be affecting the drivers. So I sort of expected the times to fall a lot farther than they were in practice.
Yeah, it definitely has.
P7 for Mr. Poole.
P7, David Poole. And that's it. That went by rather quickly. These guys ran through that qualifying session real quick. So, there it is. Next week's race, our 3-hour endurance. Thiago, Canola, and Alex White will start at the head of the field. Obviously, they'll start at the front of the field tonight, too, for the 30-minute qualifying race.
Boy, folks, it just goes to show you we've got a couple of new drivers that not necessarily brand new. Obviously, they've been around before and driven, but two new drivers. We've got Quick Nick Johnson, and now we've got Mr. Alex White. We haven't got a nickname for him, but we will get one for him. Join up and move right to the front of the pack. What do you think about that, Curtis?
And look at that, Thiago Canola, the hometown boy. Pole position at his home track. He's got to be feeling pretty good about that. And a pretty dominating pole position too, by almost, 3/4 of a second.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite a showing you put on tonight. And you know what? I'm going not far out on a limb tonight, but I think if Thiago can get a clean start away, I think he is going to run away with this thing.
I'm not quite ready to pick that yet because I want to see what the weather's going to be like. Let's see, we'll know what the weather will be like after the end of the warm-ups for the race. I think what they'll do is they'll fix the weather mod so it doesn't change after the warm-up. They don't want it changing real quick in the middle of the race.
Yeah, on these short races, it could be a nightmare of a change. Could happen in literally less than a minute. And
down in Brazil, you can go from nice sunny 120 degrees to the pretty torrential downpour and flood the track, so they don't want that happening.
Well, rain would make this very, very interesting.
Rain always does.
Well, should we run down the leaders while we have a little bit of time here? And we've got Thiago Slippery Canola in P1, Alex White in P2, Aaron Parsons out of Australia in P3, John Sportelli out of New York in P4, and Chris Moses in P5.
In 6, last week's winner, Andrew Warner, P7, Brad Maris, 8th, David Canavan, 9th, Juan Monroy, and 10th, Gregory Myers. Pretty good start for him.
Yeah, that is a great start for Greg. He's struggled with his qualifying this year, but it's good to see him in P10. P11, Christian Hamilton, John Solberger in P12, Marty Uren in P13, Sam Rolfe in P14. That's a good position for Sam. Glad to see Sam. He's up there in P14, and Marco Conti. A little bit of a surprise there. I expected him to do a little better tonight in P15.
And then starting in 16th, Johnny Mac, John McIntyre, and 17th, Andres Prieto. Definitely not happy. Had that little off in the middle of the track. It cost him 3 seconds. Starting 18th, Gupster Douglas, 19th, David Pohl, and 20th, Paul Hall.
And 21st, Kevin Savoy, and 22nd, John Wathen. And looks like Andre Cole is going to start at the back of the pack in 23rd position.
We'll have, I think we'll have one more joining. I don't see Nick Johnson in yet. Let's see if he makes it. It's going to have to be quick if he does. Qualifying 2 is finished up.
Well, if quick Nick Johnson joins up, that'll be a dark horse in this race.
Yeah, Nick Johnson started last in last week's race and worked his way up to, I think he ended up 3rd or 4th, basically at the front of the field again, where he always is.
Well, folks, we're ready to start the next session.
So as we go into warm up here, looks like our temperature is 30 degrees Celsius or so that's about ideal for these guys for a 30-minute race. Doing any pit stops. Run about 26 laps.
Actually, I was informed by some of the drivers we should be in around 21 laps, possibly. I will do my best to keep my eye on the clock tonight, Curtis.
I'm giving up on that. I missed it again last week too for some reason. The clock ran out, but the guy kept racing, so I went back. I just can't figure that out for some reason.
Well, you know, we have struggled here in the control booth with the starts and finishes of the race, but we always have next season to look forward to.
Right, we can struggle on
You know, Curtis, if they paid us more, we'd probably pay a little bit more attention.
I'm trying. I wonder about how Al's doing. Al's out there tonight watching.
Yeah, Al's out of town. He said he was traveling out in the southwest somewhere, I believe.
Rumor has it he's in the state of Arizona.
That's right.
Actually, but other than that, you know. But yeah, I think he was golfing.
He's out golfing.
Friday he might pop by and give me a little visit, but haven't heard from him yet. We'll see. Still has a chance. I was hoping to meet him and go beat up at him at the go-kart track.
Well, that would be fun.
Show their hands for the race. You know, these qualifying races are just basically sprint races. They can end up being kind of no hold barred, you know, and 30-minute sprint races are fun to watch.
They sure are. I'm expecting we're going to see a little bit of paint swapping tonight. Although with all the warnings that were thrown out in the last race, it might be that I'm hoping we get a clean start lap going.
Some people forget about that though. You put the helmet on, you get out on the track, you kind of forget about it.
They see an opening, they're going to go for it.
There's no opening.
Well, are we going to see any blown motors in this half hour?
Nope. Weather's perfect. 87 degree. As long as they remember to open the radiator, I don't expect anything too dramatic as far as motors and tires.
Well, with these temperatures, are any of them going to gamble on some softer compounds?
You know, Monday night we had some guys gamble on sauce. And they, about 3/4 of the way through the race, they all started complaining about the car getting real slippery and sliding. I think a lot of these guys will probably go with it. It's not exactly cold out there. 87 degrees is, you know, it's right in that area where you don't want a chance of anything. So I think we'll probably see mediums on the cars.
Well, some of those heavier cars are going to have to watch those softs. I don't think they'll be able to go a full 30 minutes without losing some lap times at the end of the 30 minutes.
If you can get it to make a bit of a gap with those softs, that might be what some people have got the gears turning in their head. Thinking and get a little gap, lose the time at the end of the session. And they might have enough time to hang on. But me, I'm a little conservative, I wouldn't.
You got to finish to have a chance to win.
Is ended. You can see the times right there, the 27s. Should be about right for race pace for those guys.
And we're about ready to start.
Okay, so you want me to pick a winner now, huh? You're going to go with Thiago. You've already committed to that, so...
I am going with him.
I'm going to go with Mr. Parsons. I think he's going to show his racecraft tonight, take the winner for this qualifying race. Snag that extra point towards the championship.
That is an excellent choice. What about you, Dart Guy? Who's going to win tonight?
I think Dart Guy is actually in the race now. Isn't that, him it looks like Sam and Montgomery made the race too. So,
Well,
John Watson, the start guy, I think.
and you are right too. Boy, oh boy, now there's one talented guy.
No longer visiting online there. I'm going to keep my eye on the back side of the track here while you...
I'm going to keep my eye up the front here and see how they make out at the start.
15 more seconds before we go here.
And there's still a bunch of guys that we need to get out on the track. Right in behind him. Canola, White, and John Sportelli, Thiago's teammate. 1, 2, 3. Andrew Werner up into fourth.
Everybody's still on the track. Looks like Juan Manuel got a little banging on the side there. Well, at the moment, still on track.
Actually, Curtis, I want to apologize to the viewers tonight. It looks like we do have some broadcast problems. I'm only showing about the top 15 cars in the viewing screen.
Looks like I'm watching it live. Looks like it's still going. You got Andrew Werner out there. Not far behind him, though. Second place, Alex White. Not letting him get away.
Nope, not at all. For Alex
I
is
pick Aaron Parsons. It looks like Alex is getting a little bit of pressure from Sportelli.
absolutely. Poor Alex White is in a Ford GT sandwich right now. Sportelli all over the back of Alex White.
A little bit of breathing room.
Absolutely. This is exactly what Thiago wants. Let's get a 2-3 race going here, and Sportelli got a little wild on that corner. Let Alex get away from him.
Hit behind the foul.
And Aaron Parsons is taking advantage of that and creeping up behind Sportelli. Brad Maris in P5. And Chris Pit Wizard Moses all over the back of Brad. Now Chris is in a sandwich. Prado behind him. Canavan into P8. Warner P9. Greg Myers hanging on to his start position, P10. Marco Conti all the way up. He's in P11 now. Juan Monroy, P12. Sam Rolfe and Anston in P13. Go Sam, go! Kevin Savoie in behind him and taking a look on the inside of Sam there. David Pohl following him up in P15. Oh, we've got a spin here. Christian Hamilton put off the tracks, got it back going again now. He's back into P19. Douglas in P20. Sam Rolfe back to P21. That was Sam Rolfe that had the spin, sorry about that. Paul Hall, P22. And Andre Cole in P23. Salem Montgomery Jr. There's your Ferrari.
There it is. So, fighting going on behind Thiago between John Sportelli and now it's White. Thiago. Yeah, second place.
Well, they've still got him in sight, so it's still a race early on.
A little mistake is all it takes. It's still be right there. But you can see a little wiggle there from Sportelli.
Yeah, absolutely. I think John is pushing hard to put some pressure onto Mr. White.
It looks like that fight for 5th, 6th, and 7th is slowly working their way up towards Sportelli. Parsons. These guys work together, they'll be able to
I know Alex is not going to want Thiago to get too far out in front of him. And it sure looks like Mr. Parsons is ready to make a move on Sportelli as well.
Looks like Chris Moses is having the battle of the race. He's got Andres and Brad.
And he has just gone by the pair of Anger Motorsports Racing 4 GTs.
Yeah, Chris got around Brad and Andres just followed right behind him.
Little slide by Chris there. Those 4 GTs in that radio, they look like a couple of busy hornets coming up on the back end of that cherry red Ferrari, don't they?
He's got a root for the Ferrari. What did I do? Classic Ferrari Ford battle. Ferrari out. Yeah, not counting Sportelli.
Brad having a little look there. A couple of well-matched cars and well-matched drivers going at it tonight, folks.
Just gonna hound him.
I was thinking the same thing. Andre's looked on the outside, he's looked on the inside, he's looked all over, and Chris is driving a perfect defensive line and not giving much for Andre to take a bite at. And Andre spun it, and that's let Chris run away.
Andre did that last week too.
Well, Chris isn't out of the woods yet because that just opened the door and let Brad come right up behind him again. Yeah, back up the front there, we still have Canola white. And Parsons is making the move. He's making the move here. Oh, a little bit of a contact there.
John came down, didn't expect him to be there. He held his line.
And Parsons is taking P3. And Sportelli is now left back in P4.
Looks like it will be scheduled to go 21 laps. Time of scoring here.
Well, you pretty much called it. This is like the dash for the cash, isn't it?
Looks like it is. Aaron is working his way a little bit closer to Alex White. About a second and a half away. Sparrow's not letting Aaron Parsons get away either.
No, I'm just cycling through the cars there. We've got Werner. He's being hounded by Gregory Myers. And David Canavan's all over the back of Greg Myers with Marco Conti in the back of him. This is tight racing all the way around the track.
It was tight. Look like Marco cut a little bit.
We got Juan Monroy up on the screen now in P13. And David Poole just put a pretty fine pass on the inside on him. Got a little out of shape, let Juan back at him again. Juan's not letting him go.
David must have had a bad start. Being all the way back to 13, wasn't David looking at the start qualifying?
Spun car, was that Marco Conti?
Looked like Marco Conti right there, yeah, and there's a big fun. Marco dropping back, he's finally getting back on the track now. It's close. After all that work, Marco back in the 19th.
Yeah, that's too bad. He was having a darn good race there. Put Christian's back up now in the 18th. Sam Rolfe down into 20th position. The Gopher and the Viper at 21. We thought that might be a bit of a handful, that car here on this track. Paul Hall in the Croc Corvette in 22nd. Andre Cole still back in 23rd.
Surprising to see that. I think he'd a little bit better race car.
And sorry to skip by you, Salem, but Salem Montgomery Jr., P24. Back up with your race leader, slippery Thiago Canola, and he is sliding away. Inch by inch and foot by foot, he is pulling out in front. Alex White in P2. But that guy in P3, you do not want this guy on your tail for a race. If anybody's going to get by this Alex White, it's going to be Mr. Parsons.
Mr. Parsons got his ears full of Sportelli. After that little pass in turn one, Sportelli took it personally, it looks like. So it's right on. Down the Ferrari.
Yep, Prado and Maris, 6 and 7. Hunting down our NHEP administrator, Chris Moses.
keep from making those little mistakes. He's got a car with real good pace. So, see if Andres can settle it down a little bit. Load that car up.
Well, you're right, and in a short 30-minute race, I don't see Chris making too many mistakes here, so Andre's going to have to be positioned perfectly to make a pass on Chris.
And you can see Andres has the pace on Chris. He's right there on it, hounding him again. My opinion, back off. Take a look at where Chris is slow, where he's fast. Give it a lap or two to make that pass.
Having a look on the inside. And just can't hold it. Now having a look on the outside. Outside, inside. Andre is looking for any way by Chris. He's got him on this corner.
Chris just lets him go.
And we're right back to where we started about 4 laps ago. The Ferrari sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah, see, it just goes to show what I know, huh?
Well, Chris is probably thinking, I'm going to stay right on Prato's rear end, and Prato's going to make another mistake and put myself and Maris right by Prato again.
That might be what he's thinking.
A little bit of a bobble there by Chris.
Chris is real proud about having a clean car at the end of the race. One way of forcing yourself to not make any mistakes. Keep the car scratch clean.
Just moved back to P8, Andrew Warner. And it looks like he has got Greg Myers all over the back end of him as well. Canavan in P10 with Kevin Savoy all over the back of him. There's some great racing going all the way around the track tonight. David Poole up in P12. Juan Monroy in P13. Marty Uran in P14. John Solberger in P15. But it looks like Johnny Max all over the back end of him too. There is some good competitive racing going on for every position tonight. On board right now with Johnny McIntyre. Thiago Canola just going through some lap traffic. Going past Salem Montgomery Jr. And this will be interesting. Alex White coming up onto Salem. And looks like that's Sportelli all over the back of Parsons.
Sportelli's going to try to use that Ferrari as a pick. See that F40 being lapped and says, okay, here's my chance. But no.
moved over. Perfect. Let them overtake that perfectly. Good on you, Salem.
Yep. Doesn't look like Harrington didn't make much crossroads in the house. Yeah, staying pretty consistent. Meanwhile, Thiago is away. Gap up to 21 seconds now for second place. Work on that 13. Over halfway.
Yeah, and Aaron Parsons doesn't seem to be able to make up too much. On to Mr. White there. But if you can get that pesky Sportelli off his tail, he might be able to concentrate on gaining some ground on Alex White.
Looking at the lap times here, it looks like Thiago's running about 2/10 of a lap faster than Aaron Parsons. I think even if Aaron was able to make a break, he has to go for the win.
And you sure called that one right, Curtis. Andre Prado is in P5, and he has put quite the gap on his teammate, Brad Maris, and Chris Moses. So Brad as well was able to get by Chris Moses, and they've gapped themselves out and have settled down, but that was quite the intense racing there for a while.
Was there for a while. Those guys running into 28. Chasing anybody else down, it looks like.
Andrew Warner up to P8. Followed by Greg Myers, still in P9, and that looks like, yes, David Canavan right behind him in P10. David Poole
going backwards a little bit there, huh?
Yeah. Juan Monroy in P12, and Marty Uren in the Big Egg in 13th. Solberger in P14, followed by Johnny Mack. Still hasn't been able to get by Solberger. He's been chasing him down for a few laps now. John Wathen drifts a little wide on that last corner in the Koenigsegg. Christian Hamilton in P17, followed by Mark O'Conney and Sam Ralph. Those three giving each other a race. Cup Douglas all by himself out there in the Viper in P20. Paul Hall in the Mad Croc, followed by Andre Cole. They haven't been able to swap positions yet either so far. And Salem Montgomery Jr. in 23rd. Back up front, Thiago Canola. We can see the gap he's putting on the crowd now.
Second, looks like.
It would appear he sure likes his hometown track.
John Sportelli is still all over the back of Aaron Parsons.
Absolutely. These guys will be exhausted. It looks like John wants that third place finish on the podium tonight. What do you think, Curtis?
Oh yeah, John is push real hard to get that second row start for next week's race. Just keep it close like this through that last corner. You might have a chance of making a run on it in turn one. Close. And as it gets a little sideways, that might be what John needed.
Yeah, Aaron's had a couple of bobbles, but he seems to be able to keep his speed up and recover enough to keep that big Ford GT at bay. A little bit less downforce than John. A little bit of a gap there on the straightest portion of the track. A little closer to the twisty part of the course. Yeah, this series of corners right here is where Sportelli seems to be able to close right up behind. As soon as you get into the straight bits, as you said, it looks like Parsons has got a little bit of top-end speed on him. Whoa, Sportelli way wide on that. He was lucky not to catch the... that could have been a race ender for John right there.
That was close.
Going by a spun car there.
Left in the race, he may rethink the attack. Settle into fourth there. That is still giving the second row start for the main race.
We're back in P5 with Andre Prado. Big gap to teammate Brad Maris, but it doesn't look like Chris Moses is letting Brad run completely away from him. Andrew Werner is pulled up for P8. That looks like Craig Myers and David Canavan. 9 and 10. Great action going on here. With David Pohl bringing up the group of his cars.
Just now coming up on 30 minutes in the race.
Are we coming up to the end?
I'm not going to say it. No, no, I'm not going to fall for that again. All I know is that the session progress is 30 minutes 21 seconds. So, Thiago working lap 19 at the moment.
Well, if we're over the 30-minute mark, this must be it then.
Uh-oh. I think we just lost.
I think we've lost everything.
Something bad has happened.
I think we've lost everything. Broadcast control, I'm here. I know I can hear you. I've got a blank screen with showing Alex White in P1.
Well, I was riding along with Thiago there, and then Thiago disappeared, and my screen locked up. So,
and
Looks like we may have had another drop there, but our timing and scoring is still going. Aaron Parsons and John Sportelli in the lead. So it looks like we lost Alex White and Thiago, and Thiago.
I have lost everything. Totally.
Yeah, we've lost everything as far as GTR2, but I got GT1 live timing still going. So,
well, folks,
still going there.
this has been interesting.
This happened to me last couple of weeks ago. We're in Japan, but the live timing was still going, so we can watch certain live timing. I can tell you who's going to win this race.
And I'm leaving it all up to you because I am in the blind.
Looks like Aaron Parsons still in the lead, and John Sportelli right on his tail, and they're fighting for the lead. And Andres Priedo's worked his way up to third. Brad Maris is in fourth. We had a bunch of people drop again, it looks like. Like we did a few weeks ago. So,
well, this
Ferrari out
is
front.
going to be interesting to see how they finish this up, because actually we had finished our 30 minutes of race time. And I'm sure if they were to say that Thiago Canola and Alex White are gone out of the race, they won't be happy to start at the back of the pack in the 3-hour finale. Although Thiago has locked up his P1.